I was supposed to let you know that, and I completely forgot. So we just moved through. Tobin is having his story with Brunswick this morning. He'll be with us next week.
And if he's here, then great, but I'm guessing not. So right from the
No, he
setup
would be here by now.
into meditation.
I think that we are live and in person right now. So those of you who are watching us on the live stream, welcome to this very first Sunday in the year 2022. Wow. We are so glad that you're with us, and we will try to help you feel included and present with all that will be here as well. I can share with you that one of the songs that Una Voce is doing this morning, We Shall Be Known by the Thrive Choir and Mammoose, is one of the songs I sing to my grandchildren at night for going to sleep. They love this song. So I hope you will enjoy that as well. Good morning, all you intrepid souls coming into person, and welcome to everybody online as well. We're so glad you're here for this first Sunday in 2022. One of the camera shots you can't see is that the candles are still in the sanctuary, which can be lit for any of your joys or concerns. So if you want to email me at minister@firstparishinportland.org and would like a candle lit, even though you're not here in person, just let me know and we'll make sure that the candle is lit with your thoughts and blessings each Sunday. Devin, do we have a camera shot that can show those candles by any chance? That would be awesome, so that you online can also see that your candle is lit when and if you ask me to. I do not know if I'll be able to keep this on. I can't see a thing. But only up here. It's amazing how full the sanctuary feels even when there's just a few people, because there are warm bodies here. It is wonderful, so thank you. Thank you to everybody online as well. Brenda Franey is playing for you on the piano. Sarah Collins is our worship weaver this morning, and you will hear Richard Burbank on the organ during the service today. And of course, Mo ringing the bell, and Devin taking care of all our technology. We need a whole village of people to create worship right now, both in person and online. So thank you all for your work. We are going to remain in person with a new limit of 50 people in the sanctuary signing up, as you have been online. So as you are comfortable, those who are fully vaccinated are welcome to be here on Sunday. We have plenty of room for social distancing, and we want to keep inspiring you to be re-engaged and feel like you have your church back. And in-person includes the sounds of siren on countries.
Good morning. Welcome to First Parish Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Sarah Collins, and I serve on the worship committee, and I'm also a member of the Una Voce Women's Quartet. Here at First Parish, whether we are online or in person, our mission is to nurture the spirit, grow in community, and help heal the world. This is our first service on the first Sunday of a new year, and I'd like to begin with a reading by Sylvia Howe. We bid you welcome on this first Sunday of the new year. Like Janus, we gather with part of us looking backward and part of us looking forward. We gather on the edge of the new year, saddened by our losses, cherishing our joys, aware of our failures, mindful of days gone by. We gather on the cusp of this new year, eager to begin anew, hopeful for what lies ahead, promising to make changes, anticipating tomorrows and tomorrows. We invite you to join in our celebration of life, knowing that life includes good and bad, endings and beginnings. We bid you welcome. As we are mindful of days gone by, it's important to take a moment to acknowledge the history of the land upon which we stand. Wherever in the United States you may physically be as you join us for this service, you are standing, sitting, living, breathing on Native American land. First Parish stands on Wabanaki land that was obtained in painful and destructive ways. We acknowledge this difficult truth, and we are eager to begin anew, reaffirming our commitment to help heal the world. Now please enjoy our prelude, We Shall Be Known by Mamuz, sung by Una Voce.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change from deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we thrive. shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
And we can do this. That's how the video ends online. I love it when they do this. I've adopted some words from Lucille Clinton, her poem, Running into a New Year, for us to begin this year. We are running into a new year, and the old years blow back like a wind that we catch in our hair, or old promises like strong fingers, like it will be hard to let go. It will be hard to let go of a year, of what we said to ourselves about who we are, about what we think of the world, what we thought when we were 16, when we were 26, 36, 56, 66. All those old years being left behind as we run into a new year. So each year, we beg what we love and leave behind to forgive us, and we beg what we greet to be kind.
Our chalice lighting words for today were written by Lois Van Leer, titled On the Brink of a New Year. We light this chalice on the brink of a new year, letting go of what has been, open and hopeful for what may come, renewed, restored, ready to live life fully anew. May we move forward with intention. Please join us in saying the words of our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Please enjoy our centering hymn, Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Tobin is not with us this Sunday. He is in Brunswick this week, so he will be back next week with a story for all ages. So right now I invite you to settle yourselves comfortably in your chairs, your couches, your pews. Feel the weight of your body as we reflect on what it means to step into a new year. And I am safely distant, so mask is coming off so I can see through my glasses. Reflection works no matter what your theology is. And there's no better time than the beginning of a new year to look ahead, look back, just like Janus, who always reminds us of that hinged quality of a new year. A threshold, a doorway that swings open and closes. So we get to look back at 2021, not with judgment, not with longing, but with a sense of acceptance, appreciation. The Christmas we just spent, the New Year opening, the gifts, those we received, those we gave, those we longed for that didn't show up, the resolutions. Were you thinking about resolutions on Friday evening, approaching midnight, hearing the fireworks? 2022. Still a year unblemished by any of our errors or omissions. Pure. A promise waiting to unfold. How do we intentionally cross this threshold? What do we carry forward, leave behind? We release 2021 with gratitude as we step intentionally into a new year. May the very best and the very worst of our experiences in 2021 inspire our footsteps upon unblemished snow. The footsteps that will lay the foundation for years to come as we intentionally reflect on who we are, what we want, what brings meaning and purpose to a year, to a decade, to a life. Each year, we are given the opportunity to start anew, to change, to grow, to hold on to what is essential to our identities, our lives. May we feel the presence of one another, the history of this congregation, members and friends present for this step into a new identity, new ministry. May we be both mindful and grateful of all the blessings in front of us, all the stories behind us. So may it be. Amen, and blessed be. We're going to listen to Una Voce one more time with voice still and small.
The Voice by Shel Silverstein. There is a voice inside of you that whispers all day long, I feel that this is right for me. I know that this is wrong. No teacher, preacher, parent, friend, or wise man can decide what's right for you. Just listen to the voice that speaks inside.
That voice, still and small, deep inside all. Thank you for the lovely music. That hymn is actually one of my absolute favorites. Calming my fears through all the years, still deep inside, that voice. That voice is an essential resource for us as we stand, sit, rest, recline, poised for a new year. That great, beautiful 2022 that some of us thought we would never live long enough to see. Remember when 1984 was in the future? We'll be talking about that generational divide next week. Those of us who have many, many fields behind us, and those that have just a few fields behind them. We're all stepping into this new year together, wondering what to carry forward, what to let go of. So, you get to decide. How do you plan to manage a brand new year? Is it going to be crisis management, resource allocation, decisions by indecision, intentional or unintentional? Will we be flying by the seat of our pants this year once again as we handle new variants, as we wonder about the economy, as we wonder about the weather? So much is uncertain each year. That's the part where that voice, still and clear, the one that's calming our fears, comes in. But there's other considerations. I love this story about Charlie Brown. He was stepping into a new year, so he goes up to Lucy at her little desk and he hands her his $5 for her sage advice. And Lucy says to Charlie, Charlie, life is like a cruise ship. Passengers open their canvas deck chairs on the deck to enjoy the sun. Some people place those chairs looking at the stern of the boat, gazing longingly at everything that has passed in the past. Others put their deck chairs facing the bow, looking forward, always anticipating what is coming next. Then Lucy looks directly at Charlie and she says, Charlie Brown, which way is your deck chair facing? Charlie scratches his head and he looks at Lucy and he says, God, Lucy, I can't even figure out how to get the stupid thing unfolded, let alone pointed in the right direction. So much for strategy for the new year. Long before there were sophisticated electronics, I was a sailor. And out there in blue ocean with nothing to gaze at but water and horizon, there's always this moment of fear and trepidation, like, where am I? How will I get to when will I see land again? And that first time that you see a seagull is like, oh, phew, I know it's close, I know it's close. And there's this both freedom in that immensity of horizons all around you that can just inspire you with independence and complete control over what's going to happen. And there's this trust in that still quiet voice inside. At the same time, you have to be very prudent to have some tools that help you figure out where you are. So you go on a boat now and you just flip on the switch and it tells you the course, it tells you whether you're on course, you steer a little bit to keep the line right in line and no problems, right? And it's all battery operated. You don't have to worry about electricity because that's all solar. It's a very different world, sailing. But there is a historic tradition among sailors that even with all the sophisticated electronics, it's still important that 4 times a day, the end of each 4-hour watch, more than 4 times, you don't do while you're sleeping, somebody puts a log note in. It's right there. It's a book. It's the book the captain can carry off the boat if they have to leave the boat and all the electronics are going to go down with the boat. It's a very ancient thing, very ancient tool. 24-hour clock, noted time, a position that's taken either by electronics or by a sextant if you're an old-timer, and a few notes about what the weather is, who is on watch, if there are any other boats around. And those notes become part of a historic record. And you'll note in it if you've deviated from your course for any reason, or why the deviation happened. Was it an accident? Was it intentional? And then when you do take your positions with your electronics or not, you can accurately make sightings that make sense, that if anyone needed to look at what happened to that boat should it disappear, that book would give the story, would tell a story, just in case there is no star visible for the sextant, or a GPS, or some other gear for navigation. That log record tells speed, course, wind, all the things a sailor needs to estimate where you are, where you're going, and when you can anticipate getting there. If accurate attention is paid to that logbook, sometimes you can even find errors in the electronics that didn't take some human change or action into the course for the ship. So here we are, sailors. That horizon stretched out in front of us like an unblemished sea. How will we navigate the year? Where are you? Where is First Parish on that course into a new year? Dead reckoning is about that same trust in that still small voice, at the same time taking prudent actions to do the best you can to check in about where you are, what's going on, so that you can pass on accurate information to the person who's coming on watch next, or just for your own peace of mind. Dead reckoning is about observing, using your senses and tools which are all around you, and your intuition to make an informed decision about what to do next. It is essential when you're in a boat for safety and in your life to take a fix on where you are, what you want to let go of. So I like to look at the different milestones of the year behind me when I'm stepping into a new year. What were my markers? What were the things that I should take note of? What was unexpected? What could I have done better? How would I do that differently? Documenting, writing in a journal, my passage, the last year, giving me bearings and a fix on what is possible going forward. First thing that's really important to do is take a fix on your physical body. Normal statistics, regular doctor's visit, weight, eating habits, sleeping. Many of us are not sleeping so well these days. The last 2 years have put a little crunch I've noticed on my sleep patterns. That 3:30 a.m. thing that Kamala Harris mentioned when she was running for president and vice president, that's a real thing. 3:30. How many of you wake up at 3:30 wondering, I mean, it's everything from, did I turn the oven off, to what's going to happen with the stock market, to what about my grandchildren or my children? What about school? Those 330 things are important to pay attention to. And you have to learn to live with them if you're going to get to sleep again. So, what changes can you log in on that you've noticed? What can you do better about diet? About that 3:30 a.m. I've started doing warm milk. It helps. Help plot a course for your physical body for this next year. Will it be more exercise, less chocolate, less alcohol, giving up cigarettes? Whatever it is that you want to do, can you take a fix on it so that you can set a realistic goal for yourself and your physical health? Next thing, which is kind of correlated with your physical body, is your emotional body, right? What is the status of your emotional body? Do you note that you are a little bit more sensitive to those little buttons that get pushed? That you don't have as much patience or appreciation for comments that people make that offend you or distract you? Or do you get more angry at the grocery line if somebody cuts in front of you or cuts you off in your car? How is your level of impatience, anxiety, deeply connected to that 3:30 a.m. wake up? When our emotional body is well cared for, we have more patience. We aren't as easily knocked off course, left into a reaction instead of a response. I notice that if the words that come out of my mouth are not well planned, are not quite what will be as most helpful in the situation, I need something for my emotional body. Anything from talking to a trusted friend or a therapist to getting more sleep. Check in with your emotional body. Find those places that it intersects with your physical needs so that you can be your most present, most helpful, most patient self in the new year. God knows we are going to have uncertainty and discomfort to manage in this new year, just like the last one. How prepared are you for more uncertainty, for changes? Some need to take checks on intimate relationships, friends, partners, offspring. Perhaps there's a troublesome relationship that needs repair. Perhaps there's an unhealthy relationship that needs to be let go of completely. Perhaps it's time to focus some real intentional care on a relationship you've neglected, one of long term that maybe you assumed would always be just right, but you haven't checked in recently because of miles between, because of distance or time, or just taking something for granted. Check in with your relationships. It's a perfect time to send a note, to make a phone call, to check in, take a fix. I've missed you. Are we okay? We need that intimacy. It's probably the most essential thing to human health, well-being, and longevity, is that closeness to the others in our pack. Finally, one area that I think most easily is neglected is our spiritual self. Human beings forget that there is a spiritual opportunity that is completely disconnected from theology. It's not about what or who you believe in, but it's about your own sense of reverence. Somebody just gave me a copy of a book that was written, and I can't remember, I think it's out of print now, and she had to hunt for it. The book itself is called Reverence, and you can be sure it's going to be a source of a few sermons in the coming year. Because what it talks about is how human beings, with advances in technology, have lost the capacity to appreciate and be reverent. Not in a sense that you're giving homage to some external being or presence, but that there's this deep internal appreciation for beauty, for relationships, for the miraculous potential of a human body, for a relationship, all those things that I just mentioned. It's deeper than taking for granted this lack of reverence. It makes us think about quick fixes, how you repair a crack in the wall or a relationship without taking deep reverence and appreciation for what it is you're trying to fix. So how would we bring reverence back in our life? Being fully aware of the beauty of being alive. There was a story that was told about the Buddha. He was walking down the street, just in a normal Buddha kind of day, and someone approached him. And someone looked at him and said, "Who are you? What are you? You glow with this presence. I want that. What is it you have that you can give me?" And the Buddha smiled, and he said, "I am awake." That awake is the essence of reverence. It's having all of your senses tuned to the world around you. The physical, emotional presence of your own mind, your own body. It gives no credit or authority externally. That reverence, that awareness, that being awake comes from a personal practice of paying attention, of being grateful, of seeking joy. When I learned of Desmond Tutu's death, he and the Dalai Lama wrote a book. I don't know how many of you have read it or enjoyed it. It's the book on joy. And the most essential message that they transmit in this spiritual guide to living your life is the importance of joy. And that joy need not be dependent on good things happening in your life, that a deeply spiritual person finds the joy in being alive no matter what the tragedy or the uncertainty or the challenge of the life around them. And these two masters, spiritual masters, giggle and laugh and share joy in this book, even though each of them has a tragic story in their life. That is the essence of a spiritual journey that is successful. So what are you doing for your spiritual body this year so that you can find joy no matter the circumstances that 2022 plops at your doorstep? It's part of my job with you and First Parish during this interim time is to find that place of joy, that place of engagement, that place of spiritual growth and presence that's at the heart of any faith community, regardless of the theology of that particular community. We will be continuing to get a fix on the emotional, physical, spiritual health of this congregation. That's what this next interim year is all about, so that you can step into 2023 knowing that you have done your very best to find the very best minister to share your future with you. That you are physically, emotionally, financially stable and strong to be able to welcome that new minister into a community that's ready to engage with the world in a way that's vital, meaningful, and purposeful. In the next month, the board, the transition team, and I, along with other leaders, will be calling each and every member of this congregation to check in with you, to take a fix on your well-being, to hear from you what you would like in a search committee. Who would you nominate to find that very best next minister for this congregation? We'll continue the listening sessions that we started last fall with specific groups, so you can share your fears, your concerns, your hopes about the future of this congregation. All that information will go into offering you a slate for a search committee that you can then vote on to start their work late this spring. 2022 is beckoning to you each as individuals, as members of this congregation. How will you answer the call that this year is offering to you? How will it define the relevance of this church in Portland, the relevance of our faith in the world, where pandemic, race, economics, so many issues that can divide people, can divide this congregation as well. You are a diverse group of members, different needs, different desires, and it will be essential to bring that into some wholeness this year, so that you can set a course for this congregation, that you can navigate together, that will bring you together in a meaningful way. Whatever discomfort that conversation or that finding of wholeness can bring is nothing to shy away from or fear, because it's in discomfort, just the right amount, that we learn. It's what practicing is all about. I'm doing my yoga correctly, I'm getting a little sore in the morning. Not too sore to be able to practice again. So there's a mindfulness in our care of ourselves, in our conversations, in our planning, that we engage and tolerate just enough discomfort to grow, and not enough, so much, that injury is caused. So bring your best self to this year, to your own musings, your own personal development, and to the conversations you have about the future of this institution that will make it strong and vital. Join with the transition team, your board, your ministerial leadership team, friends, relations. Share in the questions and the reflections that are going to be offered to you. Be honest. Don't hold back. We Unitarian Universalists are very good with that, being direct and speaking our mind. Speak with kindness, appreciation, that someone may have a different view. Allow the winds and the currents of the past to inform the direction of the future. We are discovering. We, here in 2022, are building a new way that holds all to be cherished from the past and carries it into the future in a more meaningful and relevant way. May we be wise. May we be kind. May we find joy and true, deep connections that will hold us all into this very exciting opportunity laying before us. So may it be. Amen. And blessed be. And Una Voce has that song, We Are Building a New Way, with a special guest, a new member of the team, Bob Fowler, who will be sharing his guitar. Thank you, Bob.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. Feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Greed and jealousy. We are working.
Clap at home.
We can be our every need. We can be our every need. We can be our every need. Start with love that is the seed. We can be our every need. Peace and freedom is our prize. Peace and freedom is our prize. Peace and freedom is our prize. Without peace, the world will die. Peace and freedom is our prize. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. Feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are building a new way.
Great work. You can clap at home. Isn't that great? You feel like you're part with us.
So, as we step out into this brave new year, navigating our way through the unknown, we are building a new way. We are working to be free, free from greed and hate and fear and COVID. We are figuring out how to feed our every need, and our needs are many, individually, as a society, and as a church. Well, I can't say that I always feel stronger every day. Depends on the day. I appreciate the hope and peace and love that this community gives me. Church may not look and feel exactly like it always has, but we are figuring out how to maintain those ever-important connections. When it comes to our Sunday plate collections, we are also figuring out new ways to give. For those of you in person, our ushers will be coming around as usual. For those of you joining us online, you can visit our website, firstparishportland.org, and click on the Give button in the upper right-hand corner. Over the course of the pandemic, I used these online features to set up recurring payments, and offertory has never been easier. So your gifts will be most gratefully received. Please enjoy our offertory music, Bach's Chaconne Partita No. 2 in D minor, played by our own Richard Burbank on organ.
Thank you, Richard. That was awesome. I'm going to close us today with some words that were written by a friend of mine about the end of a year. It's an invitation that may our minds truly come alive today to the invisible geography that invites us to new frontiers as individuals, as a community. To allow the new year to break open that dead shell of yesterdays, of habits unintentional or unreflected. To risk this year, this day, being disturbed being changed. May we each find the courage today to live the life that we would love, the life we would be proud to reflect on, a life that leaves us at the end of our days with no regrets, knowing we did not postpone or neglect a dream, another human being, a social situation that could be corrected, that at last we can come to that place of peace and waste our hearts on fear no more. Happy New Year and welcome 2022. We're ready for you.
Thank you, Reverend Elaine. As our service comes to a close and our chalice is extinguished, please join us in saying our unison benediction. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Thank you, Una Voce, Richard, Bob, and co-weaver as well as Una Voce, and Mo and Darren for all the work that it goes into making this moment virtually and in person. Thank you, everybody. We have a couple of announcements. I mentioned just before the service that the COVID team has decided we will continue in person. We're going to be working on the technology to see if there's a more effective interactive way, if we can bring Zoom back in without losing quality, so those of you who are with us online can feel really a part of the service and see who else is here. We'll still be signing people up, and we'll increase to 50 people in the sanctuary. We feel we can do that safely with masks, with contact tracing, with social distancing, and by asking everyone who comes into the building to be fully vaccinated and boosted. We are going to manage this pandemic the best we can and re-engage our membership in a way that's meaningful so that you can feel a part of your community again. I also wanted to update you, this is our first Sunday without Scott, but we are moving forward on the interview for an interim position, and we'll be planning to find the settled search for a music director as well. So we have a couple of candidates. Charlie Grindle, Reverend Charlie Grindle, will be with us for the next 3 Sundays, and then we'll be able to announce who else we might be bringing in for that music director position. And I think that's all. Next week, we're going to do a generational divide conversation. What does it mean to be a boomer, a millennial, a Gen Z, a Z? What are the other ones? There's a lot of generations we are trying to blend effectively, and it's like trying to speak at least 4 different languages. So come learn next week about being multi-generationally lingual. Okay, thank you all. And our postload is Una Voce, another train.
The beginning is now and will always be. You say you've lost your chance, that fate brought you defeat, but that means nothing. You look so sad. You've been listening to those who say you've missed your chance. There's another train, there always is. Maybe the next one is yours. Get up and climb aboard another train. When you feel you're down, but there's no such thing. Though you're standing on your own breath is king. The beginning is now. Don't turn around. Regrets of bad mistakes will only drain you. There's another train. There always is. Maybe the next one is yours. Get up and climb aboard another train.
We crawl in the dark sometimes and think too much. Then we fill our heads with crazy things that only break our hearts. And I know you've seen what this world can do when it's dragging down a load of us who think we are no use.
There's another train. There always is. Maybe the next one is yours. Get up and climb aboard another train. I know it's hard when you feel confused. We crown ourselves with fear, and the fear we cannot lose. You're building worlds that don't exist. Imagination can play the worst tricks. There's another train. There always is. Maybe the next one is yours. Get up and climb aboard another train. There's another train. There's another train. There always is. Maybe the next one is yours. Get up and climb aboard another train. There's another train. There's another train. There always is. Maybe the next one is yours.